Awesome, and we are live, so um, but we're pretty excited about this one, um, because so Matt Green is joining us here, not only being a successful business owner, right, but also taking time, to really help others in the community, and really looking forward to kind of diving in here today. Um, but thank you for joining us, Matt.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
I'm glad you said that about helping the community is our second year when we first hired our first employees. Um, we're in year 7 now, but in year 2, year 1, I thought it was all about Matt. It was about how Matt's going to make all this money being a business owner because I didn't know anything I was doing. And then year 2, we started hiring some people, and I realized it's not about Matt anymore. It's about our team and trying to help everyone that's on our team that has contributed to Green's Lawn Care. How can we make their lives better?
yeah,
And so it's always been about how can we pay the best wages? How can we offer benefits? How can we do all these things to help better our people? Like that's been 100% of my driving mission. That is my why of why I get up. Like, how can I make everyone that touches Green's Lawn Care, how can I make them better? And so it has gone from there and flew right into community service work as well.
very cool.
That's
No,
great. And
no,
then
no, awesome.
how
Yeah.
did you first start off in the green industry?
Well, uh, we were pretty poor growing up, and we were dealt a different card in life. And my dad had multiple sclerosis, and he wasn't able to work for a good part of my life that I remember. And so it was my mom raising 3 teenage boys at this time. And I'm not a small guy. I will eat a lot, and my brothers don't eat as much as I do. But if you could imagine uh, a mom that is working her butt off to try and make money and support 3 boys through school and sports and food and all, like it was draining. We didn't have a lot of money. I remember there was times we didn't have um, the lights weren't on, or there was times where we didn't have any water because we couldn't afford to pay the bills. And if my mom watches this, like I tell people that, she may be embarrassed about that story getting out, but that's what shaped who we are. Like that was a fundamental part of who we are. And so we started mowing lawns, and we were just trying to make enough money to always have the lights on and pay the bills. And so when we got home from school, she would have the trailer already set up. Everything was ready to go, had snacks ready to go. Like we went in, changed our clothes into the work clothes, and then we got back out. We went and we worked until the sun was down. Then we came home, did our homework, took a shower, went to bed, and we just repeated this. And one summer, we got up to like 75 yards that we would mow, and it's just push mowers, me, my mom, and my 2 brothers, and that's what we did. And like that time literally changed our lives. And we started realizing like that we could do things. We started going on trip, like on vacations again, and we were able to buy a computer, and like it was awesome. And so I went to college and did that and joined Fortune 500 company, and it just wasn't my style. Like I didn't like corporate business to business sales as much as everybody thought that I would like it. It wasn't my cup of tea. And so I was like, you know what? I learned a lot of what I thought was business skills from this Fortune 500 company. Said, I bet I can take these business skills, which I now know that these are not business skills. Um, and I bet I can apply this to lawn mowing, because my thought was at that time, all lawnmowers are idiots. They don't have no idea what they're doing. They're just chucking at trucks. That was my mindset from, a college educated kid looking at the industry. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to come back home, start a business, and get in the industry. And I found 2 things out really fast. One, there's a lot of really smart, good businesses in the lawn care industry, like extremely good, very business savvy people. I learned that very fast my first year. And the second thing I learned was that I learned sales skills. It has nothing to do with business. What we were taught was you need more money, sell more stuff. And it took a little bit of time for me to realize that exact thing, you don't have enough money in the bank, go sell more stuff. Well, as you guys know, you can go sell as much as you want, but if you're not profitable, you're just digging yourself into a bigger hole. So go sell more stuff, but make sure that you know your numbers, make sure that you're profitable and you can pay all your overhead and have something left at the end of the day. And so what I learned at the Fortune 500 company was only sales skills, which I thought was business skills. So I fell straight on my face at the beginning. And then we hired some consultants and figured our way out. And I hired a guy in the industry and told him our struggles. And he told me what cogs were. And I was like, I've never heard of a cogs. What is a cogs? And I know you guys laugh at that. And it's like, it's so basic now that, it's one of the most basic things you can learn in accounting, probably. And I had never heard of this thing. It was just go sell more stuff, so that was super eye-opening. But that's how we got into the industry. And that's how I started Green's Lawn Care and the reason I started it.
That's a pretty neat story. And we appreciate you kind of opening up about your some of the things that within your childhood and stuff like that, because I think it's the reality for a lot of people, right? And I think that's one of the beautiful things about business is you can turn some of those moments into things that kind of drive you forward, and even how you touched on, Matt, how you really kind of you really care about your team, right? And even how you kind of brought that now more into the community with the Lawnmower Project. And for those that are not aware, it's within Indianapolis. And but if Matt, if you can please just give us more of an overview of what that's about.
Yeah, I would love to. Let me caveat this. I didn't tell you guys this pre-show, but between Fortune 500 company and college, I was a teacher for a little bit of time. So I have a teaching license. It's one of my degrees, and I have another degree. Very little use of any of them. But as a teacher, I realized that I think I was making $34,000 as a salaried teacher. And out of that, which is not very much money, and out of that, we also had to buy all the school supplies. Like we had to fund our whole classroom because I was in public school and they didn't have the money. So I had to pay for it, or we had to get the parents to donate. And a lot of the kids were, they didn't have two parents. They were lucky to see their one parent, because they were always working. And so when I got into the business, it was one of my things that I wanted to be able to give back, that I had this platform that we made money and we served the community. And so I wanted to give back to the community with which we served, and give back to the teachers, because that was my background. So we started picking a school, which we never really talked about until recently. We picked a school and we started donating $400 a year in school supplies. We just tell them like, hey, your principal selected you. I know that I wanted to give back to my elementary school. The principal would select a teacher, and then we would just tell them, hey, put whatever you want on a wish list on Amazon and we'll buy all of it and present it to you, And so that was one way. That's when I started giving back. And then it's kind of spiraled to the Lawnmower Project. And the Lawnmower Project is like, man, it's unbelievable. Gary started this nonprofit, and it started out of COVID. And he was driving down the street and he saw a lawnmower and he was like, man, I wonder if I could fix that thing. So he took it home, he fixed it. It took him like 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes. He fixed it. And then he put it on Facebook. Hey, does anyone know any elderly or in need people that can't afford a mower? I'll give this one to them. he did this like 3 or 4 times. He fixed up a mower, took him 15, 20 minutes, maybe cost him $20 in parts, and then he would give it away. And I said, Gary, let's take this idea and let's really make this something. And so together we made the Lawnmower Project, and the Lawnmower Project is to help underserved youth learn life skills. And we go and we talk to middle schools and high schools, and we talk to mainly people that are in the alternative programs in those schools, and we teach them life skills through our program. So they start their own business, and it's not a real business, but they get to name their thing. They do all this kind of stuff. They're making money, but it's not enough to really dictate a real business. They don't make enough money in a year. And but they go out and they do this thing, and through this they learn how to show up every week, how to follow up, how to do good quality work, how to work hard. They learn a skill of how to work with their hands, how to be a mechanic because they have to fix their mower when it goes down, how to balance a budget, how to all these things. And we have different courses in the Lawnmower Project that these kids learn these skills. And some of the people that are on our board were previous kids that weren't necessarily in our program because the program only started 2 years ago, but they were kids who learned to push a lawnmower when they were in elementary school and high school. That's what they associate a lot of their work ethic from. They're, hey, being able to follow up and being able to go collect the money and go in marketing and knocking on doors. Because as you guys probably can imagine, knocking on doors and talking to strangers, one, a lot of adults don't even want to do that. And it's even more frightening for a kid to be able to do that. So that's a huge skill of just being able to network and talk to people and ask them for business. Like those are massive skills that even if they don't want to start their own business when they get older and graduate high school, if that kid that came out of that type of a program that learned those and learned how to balance and look at a P&L and balance sheet, if that kid came into your business, they would be a much better asset to you and to their community than if they didn't get any of that kind of training. So that's the real crux behind what we do in the Lawnmower Project.
Wow,
Very cool.
that's amazing. And it's so nice that you're able to help those groups of individuals that need it, right? More than the average person. And even thinking back at when I was in school, they never taught us how to balance a checkbook or how to set up a budget. And I think it's something important that is not in our curriculum. And it's nice that you're going out of your way to be able to put that knowledge, out there. And I know that this just started up 2 years ago, but kind of what's your vision for the future? What are some of your long-term goals with it?
Well, part of the long-term goals is I just want to make sure everybody knows that I'm only the president of the board of directors. I did help build a lot of this with Gary, but Gary is the executive director, and he's the guy that needs a brunt of the credit because he did a lot of the heavy lifting. Like he is the guy that works in this nonprofit day in and day out. I happen to know some more people, so I'm able to share the word a little bit more. Like my network, is a little bit bigger in these kind of circles. So I don't want to take any of the credit away from all the work that Gary did as well. But I know that his vision for this and that we kind of built together was hopefully for this thing to expand. Hopefully that we will have more kids in the program over the course of the next 10 years that we can actually serve and change their lives. Like some of the people that we've hired in the past, just getting to know them, even for Green's Lawncare, they've never had a bank account ever. It's very, in some places growing up, it's very cultural in those areas to not trust the banks. They've never been outside of 465, which is the interstate that surrounds Indianapolis. Like you come to work here, you have to be at least 18 years old and you've never been outside of 465. Like that blows my mind. And so if we can change some of those things and take a couple kids out of poverty, out of that situation that they're in, and put them on a new trajectory in life, like that's what it's all worth it then. If you can change one kid's life, you know. So I know we want to add a lot more diversity to the board. We really want to have 12 to 15 people. I think we have 3 people total. We have, including myself, not including Gary, since he's the executive director. We have 3 people total, including myself on the board. We want to make it to 12 to 15, add some more diversity, men and women, people from different backgrounds. And I think as we do that, we'll be able to serve a lot more people. But we want to add another layer on top of this, which would be mentoring. We have this in our, forethoughts, but almost a big brother, big sister type of mentoring, where that person will work with 1 or 2 kids and they would talk to them and maybe even go out with them on a Saturday morning to go mow grass and talk to them about staying motivated and how much money did you make this week? How much of that went into expenses to pay for fuel and marketing, and how much did you get to keep, and like all those things. But these mentors would be business leaders in our community that just want to give back. So that's a lot of what's in the forefront that we're looking for. And as anything, I think, to me, I'm always learning. I love to learn. One of my goals is to expand the education within the program. So much stuff that is a life skill is no longer taught in school. They take it out for budget cuts and, hey, it's not on the national standardized testing, so we're not going to focus on this anymore. But it's critical things, like just like you said, Carla, like no one in school taught you how to balance a budget or a checkbook. Like that's like fundamental like things. As crazy as this sounds, like we have people, we don't mow grass anymore, but when we did, we had people call us and say, hey, I need you to mow our lawn because I have no idea how to do it. I've never done it before. I don't know how to do it. Can you mow my grass? I'm getting complaints. And I just like, what do you mean you don't know how to mow your own lawn? Like this seems like such a fundamental thing to some people. Like you could look this up on YouTube, but for a lot of people nowadays, that's not fundamental. That's not, like we take these things for granted. And as long as, I've been in that type of situation, but I've been so far removed from where these kids are that even I'm sometimes too far removed to actually make a massive impact on these kids' lives,
No, that's really, really cool stuff, Matt. And I would be very curious over time, if there's going to be someone that ends up joining Green's Lawncare from the Lawnmower Project.
That would be awesome. I never had considered that. Never even crossed my mind. But how cool would that be? Like, how cool would that be? Or for the first one of those kids to get a job where they go and they buy a house. How cool? Like, that would be awesome. Because that's the American dream.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome, Matt. And how can people help? I see Eduardo already commented. He says he has a few extra lawnmowers, that he'd be willing to donate. I think he's in Rockford, Illinois. So I'm not sure if that's too far for you, but I guess, but how can some of the people in this group?
So thank you so much for asking that. That's been a big point of contention for us is we don't have a lot of funding at the moment. I know Gary has paid for some stuff out of his own money. I've donated a lot of time, some money also I gave Gary Broadable Mower Repair, which was a business that we tried. It was a DBA of Green's Lawncare. It was another thing that we were trying to help keep our guys busy in the wintertime. So we would bring in people. our customers' mowers. We would tune them up, store them over the wintertime, and we would deliver them back in the springtime. It was like $139 or something that we would tune it up and fix it. But it would just give our guys some hours over the wintertime. So as you guys know, we have a big seasonal problem in our industry. It was just one of those things that we tried that, and we tried junk removal, and we tried all kinds of stuff, and so I gave him that as a financing arm. So he currently will tune up mowers and things like that. But that only goes so far, to be able to reach out and fund all these training programs and all this kind of stuff, it definitely costs money. So as much as we would love to take on as all the mowers, we really need donation, like monetary partners that will help us believe in our mission and what we're trying to achieve and give us real money to help continue the project. And I know you guys will put up a link to help, if anybody feels the need to want to do that. One thing that we did struggle with was people would donate their mowers. And as much as we love that, we have so many mowers now. We're like overflowing with mowers, and we don't have enough places to store them in. So we are now taking the mowers that we're overrun with, and we're going to sell them back to the public, some of them. A lot of the mowers do go to the kids. We'll fix up mowers and give them to the kids. But another way to help fund the program is we're asking people like, hey, all of our kids have mowers right now. Would it be okay if we fix your lawnmower up and we sell it back to somebody who would like to purchase it from us? It's a used mower. Obviously, it's not brand new. It'd be at a lesser rate. But then that money would also help fund the Lawnmower Project. So we're getting funding from Broad Ripple Mower Repair and selling some mowers. But what we're really looking for is, money donations. And it could be $5 or $10 a month that just repeats, like you could do that, or you could do a one-time lump sum, because trying to get through to the big industry folks like the Toros and all the big mowing manufacturers, that takes a lot of time. And yes, they do have money to donate, but we all started at the same place. We all started mowing grass, pushing the mower, and we're hoping that some of those people that could connect with that thought and the mission would be able to donate a little bit of their money to help our cause.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and we include the link to the Lawnmower Project and also the link where people can donate as well. And I think even going back to how you mentioned just the importance of the education and building out courses for the kids as well. I think that's I think that in itself is just awesome, because it's just not done enough now when it comes to teaching people some of those skills. So
oh yeah,
this is.
And some of the people that we have that teach skills, like, have you guys ever heard of the master classes that people have on Facebook, like Google Ads master class and they charge like $5,000 for these master classes sometimes. And some of the people that we have that contribute to us from an education standpoint are industry icons. Like, I'm not going to say their names, but these are people that everybody would know. And they're at the top of the list in our industry and in other industries around that. I happen to know, I happen to have a connection to them. And so they were able to donate. And I could tell you one guy that we had create a video. If you went to him and asked him for consulting, you're paying upwards of $5,000 an hour to work with him. And so some of this stuff, we didn't have to pay for it. He did this totally out of the kindness of his heart to make these programs for us. But that's the level of education that we are helping with the next generation of our country. And this is stuff that the schools are not going to teach them. So if the schools don't teach them, maybe they'll struggle and find it somewhere on the internet, or maybe they'll get lucky enough to be placed in a program, or they self-select into our program. So nobody gets forced to work with the Lawnmower Project. They all it's all volunteer. We go and talk to hundreds of kids every spring. And there's about 8 or 9 of them that say, yep, I want to do that. I want to change the trajectory of my life. I want to be somebody different. I don't want to be the same situation that my parents and my parents' parents and everybody else. I don't want to be on the streets anymore. Like, I want a way out, so that's the kids that we want to make a difference in.
That's awesome. No, and I think it's first of all, an awesome story, Matt, and an awesome cause as well. And I hope a lot of people here, look into it and definitely help out. And Matt, anything else here before we get
Well, I
get
know you
going?
guys are gracious enough that you guys are going to make a video for us as well, so you guys are very well known in the industry. If you guys are too humble to say that, it's true. You guys are very well known in the industry. And I know that you guys are willing to take some time out of your busy schedules to help contribute to the project as well. So I do want to say thank you to both Joe, you and Carla, for taking the time to help out the project.
Absolutely, Matt. No, it's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but no, thanks again for joining us, Matt. And what's the best way for if someone wants to reach out to you as well?
Yeah, my email is they can email me at any time. I'm on social media. They can reach out to me anywhere on social media. If you message the Greens Lawn Care and Property Services, I can get any of those messages. My email, can I type it in the chat, and would you guys be able to post that
Yeah,
thing?
we can get that transferred over.
Yeah, I'll put this in here. I'm happy to always talk to anybody. So if you shoot me an email, we can set up a time and we can chat. Happy to chat with anybody, expand our resources and see if there is a connection there. And or if I talk to a lot of people all throughout the country that just have questions.
Yeah.
They have business questions, and I'm all ears. I'm happy to help anybody that I can. Coming from a teaching background, I think that sometimes that interferes with our business. I always want to be that helping person. And so sometimes I'm supposed to be doing other things in the business. I'm like, you know what? I would much rather talk to this person over here and help them solve their problem. So sometimes I get distracted from what I'm supposed to be doing to help somebody else and their problem. So I think that's just the teacher in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Nice.
That's really cool. But listen, Matt, thanks again, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for having me.